All right, then, let's say hello to our guests for tonight. Please welcome Richard Rankin, Claire Richards, Gloria Hunniford and Angela Rippon. Thank you. What a strong way to start our sofa this week. It's looking lovely. Right, Claire, we're going to be talking all things disco with you a little bit later on. Yep. Richard, now tell me, what tune is getting you up on the dance floor?
What tunes get me up on the dance floor?
Yeah, you look like a disco-loving man.
Yeah, I'm a bit, yeah, you know, all the disco classics. 5, 6, 7, 8. Tragedy.
That classic disco.
Summer of Love.
There you go. Oh my God. The man has
One
a
for
taste.
Sorrow. All the usual tracks.
The whole lot. He's going to be front row. We love to see it. Gloria, Rip Off Britain is back 16 series
16
deep.
years.
That is incredible. You must be so proud.
It is. It's amazing, actually, because, of course, going back 16 years, that was the first big financial breakdown. And here we are with everything that's happening in this country, actually, today. So we've never really been more relevant because... well, they need us, really. And we actually think we do a really good public service, and we learn by it ourselves because we deal with everything from energy to scams, etc.
Yeah, as Glo says, they need us because we make sure that the money that people earn stays in their pockets, doesn't go to the thieves and the scammers. Right. That's the whole remit of the programme.
But Angela's money stays in her pocket.
So it should. She's brilliant. So it should. You're kicking off the series next week. The really shocking story, though, aren't you? It's about a couple who lost everything when they bought their houseboat, and it sank just after 3 weeks from buying it as well. We've got a clip here to have a look at it.
It was obvious that something was very, very wrong. The entire bottom of it was above the water.
The couple rushed back home and were faced with disaster.
At this point, you know, literally all our laptops, personal stuff, treasured belongings, everything's on it right in front of you. But, you know, within 10 minutes, she was completely under.
It's such a sad story, a terrible situation, all of the above. But, I mean, why did it sink, first of all, Angela, and why didn't the insurance cover the situation?
Well, they're moot questions, both of them, because they bought the houseboat because they couldn't afford a flat or anything else, and it was within their price range. And the people from whom they bought it, when they had a survey done, admitted that there was a hole in it somewhere, that there was a problem with the rudder, and indeed there was a bit of rust on it. But they agreed, the sellers, that they would get all of that work done. And the couple then went to a proper marine insurance company and said, will you insure it for us? They did their own survey and said yes, and the sellers still said that they would do all of the work before they moved in. So they bought it. And we don't know why it sank. It could be all sorts of reasons, but the fact that it did sink meant that when the insurance company then looked at the contract, they said, well, we don't think that the people that sold it to you did do the work that they should have done, so you should have had another survey done by another marine surveyor, therefore we're not going to pay up. So 52,000 quid went just like that, and it's going to cost them £45,000 to put it right. So I suppose it's an object lesson in read the small print, and if you're buying something from somebody else and there is work to be done, get it in writing.
And of course young people find it so difficult to get on the property ladder anyway, so they thought they were doing a great thing by buying the longboat, you know.
It's cost them more,
and it's tragic.
Very sad.
That's it. Gloria, you mentioned the show truly is a public service. No stone is left unturned when it comes to helping people. What else can we expect from this new series?
Well, I actually made a note of it because there's a certain date that I want people to pay attention to, because on the, if I can find it now, whatever it is, later on, because it said 27th of May, we have an energy special. And it's very rare that we devote a whole programme to one subject. But, you know, it's something that affects all of us, you know. I'm busy trying to fight my own gas at the moment. I had to employ an outside specialist to try and fight my case. So we all have problems, but we're dealing with that the whole time. But there was one, I thought this was really fascinating, because this man got a bill for 5,000 quid. And when he complained to the energy company, of course, bad customer service, the energy company just said, you owe it. And he knew in his soul that he did not owe it. He couldn't have spent £5,000. So he discovered, and this is interesting, that they were charging him as if he had an imperial meter, when in actual fact he had a metric smart meter. And it took him really quite a long time to delve into that, and went to the Ombudsman, and of course the Ombudsman totally agreed with him. And you have to fight your corner if you believe that you know that this is wrong.
Absolutely, the show is so vital, so thank you so much for it. And now, Gloria, we have to shine a bit more light on you because you're getting a really special honour soon, aren't you? The County Armagh Borough. You're getting the Freedom of County Armagh Borough. Now, for people that don't understand, what is this honour?
Well, I'm not too sure whether it entitles me to drive sheep over the Bann River or not, but I apparently I'm the first woman to get it. They've only given out 3 of them since 2015. So I'm very proud because it's where I was born, where I was brought up, where I was educated, and I feel very strong links. And, you know, I think all of us, when we go back to where we were born, I mean, you're from Scotland, we always talk about going home, don't we, in inverted commas. So I'm very proud and humbled, really, by the whole thing. So all my family are turning out, they're all going across, and a lot of friends in Northern Ireland and whoever, you know, will turn up, I suppose.
Huge privilege.
But I'm very proud.
Huge privilege.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And Angela, happy birthday for October. Happy
Thank
birthday.
you. A few months to go yet.
Rippon Britain starts next Monday, 9:30am on BBC One and iPlayer.
OK, still to come, Claire will be sharing how the music of Steps is being turned into a brand new musical. And our very own Roman helps to launch a powerful new Children in Need campaign.
But before then, after 2 decades away from our screens, Detective Rebus is back, and Richard is tasked with taking on the much-loved character created by the legendary Ian Rankin. Now, before we chat, let's see what the series has in store.
I'm Detective Sergeant Rebus. Rebus? There's rules and there's laws, right? The law is whatever society says it is at any given point. But the rules are the rules. Blood is thicker than water. Don't grass on your friends. An eye for an eye.
You tried to kill me, Rebus.
Criminals follow the rules. Sometimes they need a reminder that the police know the rules too.
Richard, big role that you're going to be taking on. It was originally played by John Hannah and Ken Stott. We've had plenty of questions in for you here. We've got one from Petra. She said it's been 20 years since the last Rebus. Is that a benefit so you can kind of do it your own way, or does it add pressure?
That's an interesting question, actually. I mean, it's a different show. It's just, it's really a reimagining of Ian Rankin's novels. So, but I think the time does give that separation, which kind of allows that sort of distinction and lets people sort of get into this new version. And there'll still be those that appreciate the, John Hannah and Ken Stott's versions as well. But this is very much a sort of a refresh.
Yeah, so fans can be reassured then that this is in safe hands, essentially.
Oh, it's very much in safe hands. Couldn't be in better hands.
Of course.
Yeah, and it's a great team on the show as well. You know, we've got Greg Buck has written such an incredible adaptation. We've got an amazing director on board, Neil McCormick, and obviously Ian Rankin's source material, which has been going strong for years.
Well, this is it. And when it came to Ian's involvement of the show, how did he want you to play Rebus, if at all? Was it very collaborative, or was he just like, you get on with it?
He basically said, you get on with it. He's got a lot of faith in Greg Buck, who wrote the screenplay for it, and he pretty much said to him, do what you like with it. And he was always there. He was always very good to, chat to if we needed him. But otherwise, he was just very much of the opinion that I trust you guys. You seem to have a good team. Take it, run with it. And I think he was happy with the end result. Yeah.
Well, let's get into this new series because obviously he's back hard at work, but let's keep it a buck. His personal situation isn't very easy at the moment, is it?
It's definitely not very easy, no, but then he doesn't make it easy for himself either. It's very dicey, actually. He's kind of at odds with his work life, his personal life, his romantic life. He likes to take the hard route in life, and I think that's just kind of who he is. He always goes about a circuitous route, and I think he feels like life should be difficult. It's almost a sort of a self-deprecating kind of... Yeah.
Anybody who's read the books will immediately recognise that description of Rebus, I think. Yeah.
He loves self-loathing. He loves to kind of... He loves to hurt. Yeah. I think he likes people to know about it as well, so he's a very complicated man.
Angie, I mean, you've jumped in now. We wanted to speak to you about this, because you've read them all, haven't you?
Yeah, I have, yeah. I mean, and I remember the early series as well, and I think, what's going to be interesting about the way that you're going to do it is that you're going to be finding a whole new generation, because if it's 20 years since the last one, my goodness, I can't believe it's that long.
Yeah.
But if it is 20 years, probably none of those people now would have read the books until they were maybe 20 themselves. So we're talking about, 40-year-olds who will be seeing it for the first time.
Yeah. Exactly, but I think we'll still have a lot of those people who will appreciate the reboot and get quite excited to see, a new version of that story that they love so much. But like you say, plugging into a brand new demographic for the show.
But the stories are brilliant, I think.
Yeah, they are.
It's the storylines that'll.
So what does he find himself investigating in the first episode?
Well, I mean, really, so for a procedural crime show, it's really this feels much more like a character drama than a typical procedural crime. But we find him investigating what looks like could potentially be a random stabbing, ends up being the sort of gateway into Edinburgh's sort of gangland and criminal underworld. Everything just starts to fall into place, that it's all kind of connected, and we start to see a look at a sort of a dramatic criminal Edinburgh. At the same time, he's battling things on his own turf with his family and whatnot. So it all sort of drives to a big sort of climactic point by the end of the season.
Excellently explained, spoiler-free, because that's really hard to do. So well done.
Well, spoiler-free.
You seem like thinking his way through it. Like, how do I not give it away?
Well, I come from a show that's based on a series of books, so I'm quite well versed in not treading through the spoilers too much.
Perfect, like Gloria said.
Truly. We must talk about your incredible late father, who was in the police force. And when you started playing some of those early detective roles, what did he make of those early acting jobs and you stepping into his world?
Well, I think he was quite grateful that I was doing it for pretend and not in real life. One of the biggest pieces of advice he gave me in regards to the police was don't ever join. Not that I'm putting that out there as but he was very good in sharing a lot of his experiences and memories and time in the police, and that was very helpful. And I've played a couple of cops and detectives earlier on in my career as well, so that is a resource.
Yeah.
And quite an honest, no holds barred sort of view of it as well was quite helpful for me whenever I was taking on those roles. So I think I'd like to think he'd be proud.
I'm sure he will.
Absolutely.
He definitely will. Thank you very much, Richard.
Thank you.
Rebus starts this Friday, 10 p.m. on BBC Scotland, and on Saturday at 9:25 p.m. on BBC One. It's also on iPlayer for you to watch.
That's right. So it's still to come. We're going to be chatting to Claire as she swaps steps for a brand new Great Say show. All right, then, it's time to talk music now, because we may be used to her bringing us hit after hit with steps, but now Claire is going to be dancing the night away to the sounds of disco in her brand new show. Now, Claire, just to be clear, you are not leaving steps behind you.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not doing that again. I've done it once, I don't need to do it again.
Okay, good.
It won't be happening again, no.
Settle down.
No,
Settle
we're all
down.
safe there.
So you're going on tour
Yes.
with a brand new show.
Yep.
What can people expect from it?
So it's a celebration of dance and disco music from the 70s right up until now. So hopefully there'll be something for everybody. I can't promise that I will be doing that much dancing, which is probably a good thing. I've got the trousers for it. I'm just going to concentrate on the singing part. But yeah, it's just hopefully there'll be something for everybody, and it's just a really good night out where people can get up, have a dance, have a sing to all the songs that they know and love.
I can already sense the parties arriving.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I can feel it from those trousers.
I know. Yeah. That's what I want. I want people just to get up and have a really good night and just have a good old dance and a good old sing and forget about everything else that's going on for a couple of hours and just...
That's what people need.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's it. And it's such a great genre. There are so many songs for you to pick from to sing. What are you most looking forward to performing?
Well, like you said, there's so many to choose from. We haven't nailed down the full set list yet, but I think, the classics from Chic and Chaka Khan and Donna Summer, Donna Summer to Dua Lipa, I think that's kind of how broad it's going to be.
Yeah. Gloria, you're there, you're at the concerts, the show.
Listen, I know you're sort of young and with it and everything, but at my age, I'm a good mover. And so I'm really, really into Tina Turner anyway.
Yeah?
I just thought she was fabulous.
Yeah.
And so she did a great version of Simply the Best. And I used to, when I did do loads of exercise, I used to do it all to that, and I loved it, and I loved her. And I got to meet her. Can I have time to tell you?
Go ahead.
Lucky to meet her once to interview her. She was in Amsterdam. She used Simply the Best for the rugby team in Australia. And, you know, she's in those heels like that. And she had that wonderful stance, you know, moving over. But so we watched her for a while, and then we went to the dressing room to do the interview. She kicked off the high heels. I'll not use the words that she said, but she got into the little pumps, and she said, thank for that.
Tina Turner was a legend. Now, Angela, we mentioned your birthday earlier. Very excited for your celebrations in October. I'm assuming that we're invited. What disco tunes are we going to be hearing at your birthday party?
Well, if I get to play any disco, the place we're going to do it, I think it would have to be something like It's Raining Men, anything by ABBA, frankly.
Of course.
Yeah. Loads of stuff, but it would probably all be from about the 60s, the 70s and the 80s, because I think that was when there was really great disco music. I'm not sure that I quite enjoy dancing to something. Because we're the right age for all of that, you see, so we'd get up and that would be what we'd be doing.
There will definitely be some ABBA in there.
There will, there has to
Definitely.
be. You cannot have a disco without Dancing Queen.
No.
You can't.
Very true. Very true.
We've got some questions for you, Claire, we've got to get to here. We've had one from James, and he said, will Steps be reuniting in 2025?
Oh, do you know what? I'm not sure. I think we're about to launch the musical, which opens in November in Birmingham, and we're kind of taking a break to let that breathe and let that do its thing. And we did quite a lot over the last few years. I think we released 4 albums in 5 years or something. So we're just having a little rest, and then we'll come back together. We're nearly 30 years, so.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a bit more about the musical?
Sorry?
Can you tell us a bit more about the musical, the Steps musical?
The Steps musical. So it's a musical with our music. We're not in it. It's not about us, so no one has to worry about that. It's really funny. We had a workshop a couple of weeks ago, and we think I think it's good. I mean, obviously it's ours, so it's quite hard to be objective, but it's funny. It's called Here and Now. Which is one of our songs, but not one of the, you know, we didn't want to call it Tragedy or 5, 6, 7, 8.
Smart move.
I know.
Smart move.
See, we're not that stupid.
Could have been good. Could have been good. We've got more here. So Andrew is asking, are you working on a follow-up album to Euphoria?
At the moment, no. Obviously concentrating on the tour and the musical, so it's been quite busy with that. But hopefully, yes, in the future, because that was great. I loved it. It exactly fits in with the show as well.
Right on, lots of Steps fans to enjoy, and fans of you individually.
Yes,
Well, look,
I hope so.
Claire, we can watch her in Everybody Dance from the 14th of October, and tickets are on sale now.
Right, Sue says, if I get it to come up, there we go. There we go, we got it. Sue says, here's my whippet. He's called Rebus, and he's the one sitting up. On the other one is Rafa. We got it? Where's the whippet? Rebus and... Oh, I love that. Rebus and Rafa.
Looks
what
just
a name.
like that.
I would trust those dogs to solve some crime, you know, absolutely. All right, well, that is all we have time for tonight. Thank you so much to all of our guests for joining us.
We have indeed run out of time, so let's crack on. I'll be back tomorrow with Rob Rinder, Rylan and Liz Carr. Have a great evening. Good night.